So I'm picking up this energy that there are individuals that are very disappointed that they could not stop you. It really affects them in a different type of way. I feel like it's very deep. Like the way that you affected these people, whoever they are, or maybe it's just one for some of you, it's deep. Because I'm hearing, what was it I just hear? There is no forgiveness. There's something about no forgiveness. And I don't necessarily feel like, what I'm getting is that there's just individuals that have pointed the finger at you, so much so that there's no forgiveness. Because even if you did want to call it truce, excuse me, it would be difficult. Even if you did want to piece up the relationship, because this other person is too resentful. I feel like there's a lot of resentment. That's what I'm getting here. Just a lot of resentment, a lot of misdirected anger. But there was no real communication. Misdirected anger, no real communication, assumptions. I'm picking up assumptions. Misconceptions. It feels like a bunch of confusion to me. That's what it feels like. It feels like a bunch of confusion, to where nothing was really sorted out. It was just assumptions. That's what I'm picking up. So someone's anger is revved up, just super angry, and will not release it. I'm hoping that it's not you that feels this way. I'm hoping that it's not, because that makes your heart heavy. But if it's not you, and you have chosen to release this person's ways from off of you, it's the other person that has this strong anger towards you. But when I first heard the download, it said they revved up their anger towards you. So I feel like for a lot of you, you may have been at that point where you weren't necessarily happy about what happened. However, you did release it from your spirit, from you, from your vessel, from your mind. You allowed it to be released, and you left it where it was at. But on the other side of the spectrum, with this other person, they just are holding on to the anger. So I feel like at times, energetically, they pull on your energy because they still have this resentment within them. And now I'm hearing that it's your responsibility to steer clear of that energy, so that you don't have to put yourself in a place of feeling discomfort and feeling any sense of anxiety. Because I feel like this can cause tension and anxiety. Okay, so that is the download. Hello, I am Mystic Alchemy. Thank you for being here. And so I'm just picking up this energy also when it comes to this download, that even though this person or these people were revved up with anger, you still were able to, I heard, get out of Dodge. You still were able to continue on and go a different route when you could have gotten caught up in a different way. I heard, but your angels swayed you. Okay, so you know that split moment when you could have done something crazy and something told you to stop and just go do something else? I feel like many of you had those moments where you could have did something completely out of your character, something that normally you would never do, but you didn't do it. And I feel like your angels, there were angels around you, and your spirit guides, and maybe even some of your ancestors coaching you in that moment. And many times your spirit family will come through in that way, and you think it's just you. Meanwhile, that is your lineage speaking through you, acting through you. Because in those short time spans, it's very difficult to think clearly when there's a lot going on around you. And I feel like I heard Saved by the Bell. I feel like you were able to get out of a situation that you could have gotten stuck in, I just heard, or it could have been deeper than it was. Like it could have gotten worse is basically what I'm feeling here from this. And I'm hearing the way that you were carried out of this situation, you didn't have to lift a finger. You didn't have to touch anything. Things just fell into place. I heard like a freshly washed and dried blanket spread over a bed. It just fell into place. You know how when you go like this and then the cover just goes down kind of slowly and it just lays on the bed neatly? That's the image I just had in my head. It's like you have a covering over you. You have a covering to protect you. And you know, many of you have that covering because your life is so purposeful. Your life is so purposeful that it's like there's something a little more that follows you than others. There's something a little more that guides you and gives you messages because Spirit knows you can see them. Spirit knows that you don't ignore them. And I feel like Spirit gets excited because you have to think about it like this. Their job in the spirit realm is to care for us and to try to teach us from the other side, when most of the time we don't even know that they're there. Throughout our life, we don't know until later. And sometimes certain people never really know that they had a spirit team, you know, when they were here, you know. So I just feel like when Spirit recognizes that there is a soul that recognizes them and recognizes the signs that they give to you, they get happy. They become excited because I heard all that hard work paid off because they work hard to try to give us these messages and to try to help us to do what we are made to do here on land. It's just that it's not always easy because as a people, we are so blocked off from our spirituality that most times they can't even get in. And we have to allow Spirit in to work with us. But if we don't allow them in, I heard them, we're like sitting ducks. We're just left open to be targeted. We're already targeted. Yes, we know that. However, it's worse when they try to give you these very pristine messages, and we have those moments in our life where we can't hear them. That's when it gets challenging. However, for those who actually hear and actually can see and feel and respect their intuition, Spirit gets happy. So it's like, oh, you can hear me, so I can help you more. Okay, let me tell you this. Of course, they're going to try to give signs to the one who they know doesn't hear like that or doesn't really trust their intuition that much. Of course, they're going to give those people, those individuals, signs as well. It's just that they can't keep that flow going. When they know that there's a soul that could recognize and decipher the messages, it's like, oh, I could give you more. Oh, I could give you more. Okay, come on. Oh, you heard me? Okay, let me give you some more because you're hearing me. You're picking up my messages. Okay, I can give you some more now. And that's what Spirit is giving me. And it feels like love. It's just full of love. The feeling that I'm feeling is just full of love. And they just want to give it. It's just that not everyone has the openness to receive. Okay, that's what I'm getting so far. However, they're proud of a lot of you for the decisions that you decided to make in those moments where things got rough, or when things may have gotten heated or confused or disoriented. You always tried to keep a level head, regardless of who tried it. You tried your best, even if sometimes you may have slipped up and ended up doing something that you wish had have been a little different. But it's the intention. It's the fact that you didn't want to take it there. You didn't have that desire, you know. And Spirit knows that about you. That's why many times when you make those decisions that are of an improved, I heard of an improved consciousness, they know that they can trust you with more. Like they could trust you with more blessings. It's giving, okay, give a man wealth and see how he handles it. Give a woman great wealth and see how she handles it. Will that person be there for others, or will they become greedy and just want more and not have any thoughts on creating something to help the community or create something that could be of some type of use to others? You know, because clearly there's things that are needed that aren't. They haven't been implemented yet. So I think even if you guys just think about it, how many things do you see on earth that are just not right and you don't agree with it, but there's nothing there to fill the gap to improve that situation? I'm sure the list is long. You guys put stuff down there, things that you see, put it in the comments, because I know that you guys have so much to say. Things that you see that need to be mended, and there needs to be a bridge for that gap. Put it in the comments, because you guys are smart. I'm very curious as to what you see wrong, because there's so many things wrong. There's so much to talk about. I mean, there's problems in every crevice. Honestly, because of how everything has been going for hundreds of years. What else am I getting here? You could hear. Those who could hear without any fear. You have a shield of gold, I just heard. Those who can hear without any fear have a shield of gold. Treasure. You are a treasure in the spirit realm. And I'm getting that because I'm hearing Spirit like saying, you know, there's so many individuals that have the ear, but they ignore what they hear, and then they reject it, you know, and that can sadden them. That can make them sad, because they see what we can't see. They see options for us from different perspectives of routes and choices that we can take. They can see multiple outcomes for us. So when they see us take a route at will, of course, that is not going to be the best option, that makes them sad, because they can't do anything about it. However, they know that it is spiritual law for everyone to have their own will. But it's just sad. It's like a mourning. I'm hearing. It's like a mourning, like sadness. I don't know what's in the air tonight, but this is a little different, Spirit. It's a mourning. It's making me want to cry. Wait, I don't want to cry right now, Spirit. Come on. They got me feeling all warm and stuff. I'm not trying to cry. I'm just trying to talk. It's a mourning when Spirit keeps trying to talk to so many, and it's either they reject it or they ignore it. But they can't do anything about it because everyone is required to have their own will. And so it is what it is. It's just sad for them. That's something that they have to go through. That's something that Spirit is actually sad about. Because their whole, I wanted to say their whole life's work. Because on the other side, we are their work. We are how they are able to get promoted in the spirit realm, I'm hearing. So if they just happen to be assigned to someone who is more challenged when it comes to their spiritual understanding, imagine how they feel. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to try so hard, but I'm going to try my best to try to get this person to see and hear and not be afraid. Because, you know, when you think about it, everything around us tells us to be fearful. Mostly everything that's in our surroundings, it tells us to be afraid and scared of things that we shouldn't even be scared of. And when you live in fear, it makes you, it's like disabled. Like, it's like you have a disability because you can't move around like someone who's not in fear. And then the sad part about it is fear is not real. It's just a thought that our mind creates from being nervous about the unknown or not willing to take the leap with faith, not willing to live faithfully and just allow things to unfold. We have a tendency as a people to get fearful. And I mean, you could see why, because fear mongering is thrown at us every day in different ways, from different perspectives. It's time to change that though, because it's up to the people. It's up to us for the change to happen. Heaven on earth is up to the people. I heard, you know how they say when Jesus comes down, that's just Christ consciousness being activated within each and every one of us. That's all that is. We already down. We here. Now it's time for us to act. That's all that is. So back to the download. This is the reason why there's individuals around you that get so angry at you and get so revved up that they just don't want to set their anger aside, because they start to look for things about you that make them angry. They'll just start to create things because they want to be angry at you. They want they want a confrontation. You know, that's what their desire is. And that's really the enemy working through them. It's not really them. They're just being used. Remember what I was telling you, Spirit told me the other day? They're just being used. They're just being used as a pawn here in this place, right? And so individuals who can hear and who do have a relationship with Spirit tend to have to deal with just a little more, because when I mean like in a karmic way, from being like attacked by individuals energetically, it's because your light is bright and it's clear. It's very apparent that you are a divine child. You are a divine child. It's very clear. There is no wandering. There is no guessing. People see it on you. You don't have to do anything special. It's just on you. It's a part of you. So just know, in those moments where you could have just completely lost it and you didn't, that is your lineage speaking through you to help you to try your best to make the best decisions for yourself so you can reach your goal for your life's purpose. Because your life's purpose is what makes you happy. Most people are not in their happy space because it's very difficult for them to reach where they want to go, like where their soul is crying out to be, because of fear. That's a big reason. Fear can make you just not move. And, you know, it just reminds me of a child saying that they're afraid of the dark, like that type of fear. That's what it reminds me of. At least that's the image that I'm getting in my head. It's like a little boy in the corner, and I'm seeing the moonlight shine down on this young child, and they're down on the floor in the corner with their head down in their knees, with the knees up. That's the image that I'm getting. But the window's like on the side of them, so I'm seeing the moonlight shine down. But I can't see the child's face because their head is down. But it's a little boy, it's not a little girl. I don't know if that's significant to anybody, but I see that right now as I'm speaking to you. I feel like it's significant in some way. And I'm also hearing about that little boy being afraid of something in the closet, or thinking that there's something in their room. And they're being told to just stay in there, and that this is nothing, but they're really scared. And they have to stay in there, but they're scared. So instead of staying on the bed, they shrunk down and went in the corner of the room and just put their head down, like trying to hide. And all of that is a tactic. The fear mongering and the making you worried and fearful about this and that and the third. That makes you a sitting duck, you know, when you have that fear inside of you. So that's all a part of the plan, to make you fearful so that you become a sitting duck. It's rough out here. Energetically, this is a rough place to be, because there's so many different energies, and they're not all kind. They're not all working from a place of love. So one of the most challenging aspects of life is to learn how to navigate and swerve, bob, and weave those type of energies, because they just be around. So you have to learn how to maintain yourself in the crowd. I heard in a crowd of entities. I'm sure some of you got that. I don't know if everybody got that part. I don't even want to repeat that, because just thinking about it is a lot. It's heavy. But I'm going to try to lighten it up a bit with these, because this is getting heavy. So I'm going to back up a little bit, you know. Let me get a charm and see where Spirit wants to go now. The flower came out again. And a heart. A white heart and a white flower. So I'm getting love on yourself. The best thing that you could do is love on yourself, because every time I get the flower, I just think about growth. And I think about you as being a rose, my honey roses. I think about you finding, I heard finding your nectar and using it to your advantage. Your honey nectar. And this is for masculine and feminines, because there's a power in the nectar, in the, it's like wit. I'm picking up like wit and self-love, care. Because remember, when you love yourself, it's hard for you not to love others. When you love yourself so hard, It's hard not to love other people. And I'm hearing somebody say you can't love everybody. But when you do love, at least you give them a chance to accept the love. But they might not always accept it, but that's okay. If they don't accept it, pull it away, okay? That just so happened to rhyme because I'm not even trying to rhyme. It just comes out sometime. There it goes again. But anyway, it's really about self-love. And I know I said this the other day in another reading, to tend to your own flowers. That is the best thing you could do in this life, because it prepares you for anything, really. When you really focus in and hone in on yourself, and you don't keep on giving your energy to people who are not going to use it to work with you and to improve situations. They just use it for themselves and hoard it. So the best thing you could do is love your flowers, love what you have, and make it grow beautifully, because there's so many people that are going to benefit from your flowers. So many people are going to benefit from your flowers, from what you create and what you nurture. Because in all honesty, what we nurture is for other people. It's not just for us. The gifts that we have, they activate something special inside of us that we could actually gift to others. And that's the beauty of our gifts and of our spiritual abilities, our magic, that we can give it to others. What we think in our mind, what we create, what we draw, what we paint, what we build, what we know, what we teach, where we go, what we find. Because we can go somewhere and find something that no one has ever found before, and then come back and bring it to the people. And then everybody gets to experience the beauty from one person's experience. So it's not only that one person's experience anymore, being that this one person shared their gift. Now it could be appreciated and utilized for growth of everyone. So that's the message. I feel like it steered a little bit. It felt steery. It felt like it was waving to and fro. But I hope this message has helped whoever hears it. I hope it helps you in some way. I hope it makes sense, because I felt like Spirit was taking me through a place and to some places. However, yeah, I just hope that it helped, and I hope that you hear it at the right time. I hope you hear it at the right time. Okay? In a time that I heard in a time where it's due. Okay? So yeah, I think that's all I have for you with this reading. Everything you do, do it with love. Always remember that God is in you and the magic is too, because you're magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next reading.